Scarborough really is the queen of seaside resorts. It's the place which has got the lot. Not just one, but two wide sandy bays, perfect for swimming. Then there's the harbour with fishing boats and pleasure boats bobbing about on the waves. And of course, inevitably, I suppose, there are also rows of amusement arcades. But there's more to Scarborough than all this. It's also a place stuffed with historical interest. The 12th century castle over there on the headland makes that point. The Great Headland, which overlooks both North and South Bay at Scarborough, has probably been a fortified location since the Iron Age. Certainly the Romans had a signal station here, and in 1154, when King Henry II came to the throne, he was the one who ordered that a castle should be built. Well, it last saw action during the First World War when it was shelled by the Germans, but all this isn't down to them. It's been a ruin since 1645. 1645 wasn't a great year for St Mary's Church either. It was the height of the English Civil War. In the fighting, the choir aisle was destroyed and the central tower collapsed. And it means the church we see today is much reduced in size. Incidentally, perhaps one should also say that at various times Scarborough has also been home to three orders of monks, the White Friars, the Black Friars and the Grey Friars, but none of them survived King Henry VIII and the dissolution of their monasteries. So the administrative and spiritual centre of the town is up there on the hillside, but down here this area has always been about commerce, and by commerce of course I mean fishing. And if you look over there, well, the great harbour walls, they were built to protect the Scarborough fishing fleet from North Sea storms. Now that industry is still going strong today, even though it is under incredible financial pressure. But before Sandside was built, now that's the road which follows the beach round, they actually used to build the fishing boats down here as well, 169 in 1797 alone. But by then, something even more important had been discovered up the other end of the bay. Namely water. In 1626, a certain Mrs. Farrow was walking along the beach when she noticed a natural spring rising through the magnesium rocks. Well, eventually the people of Scarborough began to say to themselves, hang on, Harrogate's got natural spring water, first discovered in 1571, and it's doing okay out of it. Perhaps we could attract the rich and the famous to come here as well. Well, it did take them some time to get round to doing anything about it. It wasn't until the 18th century that Scarborough began saying to people, why not take a dip in the sea? It's very good for you. But in 1735, Scarborough introduced the very first bathing machines to protect the modesty of those who wanted to take a plunge. So perhaps the town has got good cause to claim that it really was the very first seaside resort. Well, you can't get spa water anymore here in Scarborough, and indeed the spa complex itself has had a checkered history. In its time, it's been washed away by the sea, it's collapsed in a landslide, and in 1876 it was burned down. But now this spa has been lovingly restored, and many visitors choose to come here in the morning to read the paper, have a cup of coffee, and listen to the spa orchestra. By the mid-1900s, Scarborough really was the place to be seen. It was a fashionable resort attracting visitors from all over the country. And it was about that time that the streets here on the Esplanade were laid out in a grid which centred on the Crown Hotel over there. In 1827, this bridge was built to link the Esplanade with the rest of the town. It meant that visitors no longer had to scramble down the ravine and up the other side when they wanted to get into the centre of Scarborough. But one of the other places they might have been going, of course, was the Rotunda over here. The Rotunda was built in 1829 to house the geological samples and collections of William Smith. This building, well, that is the Grand Hotel. It was completed in 1867. It has 365 rooms and it stretches over 13 floors. Now, it was built to accommodate the visitors who flocked in once the railway link from York was completed in 1845. Indeed, on the day that the first train arrived, the 1st of July 1845, 1,000 visitors arrived in Scarborough. There was half the number who'd been here the whole season in the previous year. Truly, the age of mass tourism had arrived. As the number of visitors to Scarborough grew, so did the attractions designed to keep them amused, and perhaps even more important, to persuade them to keep coming back. So in 1912, Peasholm Park was laid out, which includes this beautiful lake. Now, on occasions here, grown men will squeeze themselves into model warships to fight the mother and father of all battles.
There's nothing they can do about it. Now we must find a way to defeat this. I'm glad that the line is over.
Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the road to Peasholm Park, there's the largest open-air theatre in Europe, with seating for over 10,000 people. Recent artists to perform here include Elton John. So we come to the end of our visit to Scarborough, the biggest town on the Yorkshire coast. And of course, Scarborough's fame has been spread even further thanks to the Simon and Garfunkel song Scarborough Fair. Now the song, or rather the poem in which it's based, contains the word "between salt water and the sea's strand." So why don't we now go up the strand, or the beach, just a bit, to one of the smallest places on the Yorkshire coast, the village of Stays, which nestles right on the Yorkshire-Cleveland border.